Hello and welcome. My name is Promise Odera Onu, and today we are going to discuss girls abuse versus boys abuse. And this is stemming from our last conversation where we discussed about being a man, and we sort of, in the course of discussion, figured that some people might not like to train other people's or somebody outside their core family unit in their house because of molestation. So we decided, okay, we are going to treat this topic based on some requests that we should discuss boys abuse versus girls abuse. Most of the times, the girl child is being protected, and rightly so, because women are more vulnerable in the society. If you check the rate of crime anywhere in the world, men commit more crime than women generally, and a lot of crimes, women are at the receiving end of that. So society focus on protecting the women or the girl child. They are vulnerable, they go through a lot. So even as a parent, if you have a boy and a girl, even without knowing, you will see that you are protecting your girl child more than you protect your boy child. And I also came to reason, even today I was thinking about this, that somebody said it, that we should actually empower our women. Because when you empower women and women are in position of power, they won't carry men to hotels. They won't have side boys. They won't be carrying all these Olosho boys. They will focus on do what they're employed to do. But when men are powerful in society, they want to see women as sexual objects. So, but that said, our focus today is abuse of children. If the main reason why people these days don't want to train other people's children or allow people who are not part of their core family unit to live with them, then we must address it, because growing up, we all lived with people who are not really our brother or blood sister. And that is how our parents helped to train other people's children and also benefited from them, maybe from things like house chores or helping in business, or even no help at all, but at least they get basic training. So for me, I think we have a role to play in society, not just for those we give birth or we bring to this world. Because there are people that struggle with childbearing, there are people who have one and don't want to have another one. There are people who can have one and they will not be able to have another one, but they still have money that they can train up to, many children. So we are encouraged to adopt children, not just the ones we give birth to. We're encouraged to look after other people's children, because all fingers are not equal. No matter how you look at it in this world, the way God designed this world, He did not design this world for everybody to be equal. So if you find yourself that you have a special grace or you have a better opportunity than the next person, it is beckoned on you that you look around and see who you can assist. Money that you can easily throw away can be what somebody else is praying to God for, to be able to go to school. A lot of people go hungry so they can pay their children's school fees. And at the same time, we have to be sensitizing our people in the need of avoiding bearing too much children, especially when they are not so buoyant, because children are expensive. One of the reasons why those abroad, especially here in the UK or in the West, people tend not to have too many children, is that you will see what you are spending in the one you have or the two you have, and that will even scare you from having more. But in Nigeria, because you can always give one out to boy, give the female one out to go and learn handwork, give another one out to go and do maid, and then when one of them is grown, you take another one, the younger sister. So because we have that in our culture, parents are paying little attention to actually family planning. So that is that. So coming to girls abuse and boys abuse, what can we do in terms of parents? How do we protect our children? You know, I don't have a girl yet. I have two boys. But honestly, if anybody should do anything molestation to my children, I cannot accept it, and that person will have to pay, and I mean physically as well. So it is very sad that some people spotlight. Beatrice, you can send me a request. You're one of those that initiated this topic. I hope Felix will join us soon as well. So, personally speaking, do I have any experience of abuse? I wouldn't say in my house I had the experience of abuse. Although when I was much younger, one of the a primary school compound, and they were touching my genitals and saying I about my jam or something like that. I buy a jam. I don't know whether they were enjoying what they were doing or just trying to do whatever they think they were doing. So I would think that that is abuse on itself. Well, it did not affect me psychologically. Hi, I can't see you. I can only see white background.
I'm coming.
Okay. I'm sure you are doing makeup now because they told you to be doing makeup to come live.
As a matter of fact, you're far from it.
Okay. No, me, I don't send. If you come natural, I'm team natural. I don't care about makeup. What are you making up when God have already made you in his image? You already made.
I wasn't planning the life, so
okay.
I just saw it.
Now I'm only saying I'm easy, I'm not fat. So going back to what we are saying, I mean, how do you protect your children from abuse? I mean, these days people tend to build what they call is it self-contained or master's rooms? Not just the master bedroom will have like a built-in or a bathroom in the room. The way they build rooms these days or build houses these days is that every room will have its own bathroom and toilet, because most of the wrongs that go on in the house is, say for example, everybody's sharing the same bathroom and women are coming out from the bathroom and then you can see them and men will try to go and look deeper and see whatever. Or when you are in public house, what do you call it? All this face me, I face you, and then you are going to shower in a public bathroom and normally their door not they complete, so there will be hole here and there. And you will see people trying to peep. But if you live in a house that is what they call self-con, which has its own bathroom, you dress in your room, you come out well dressed, then that is limited. Boys will have their room, girls will have their room. Another thing is if you build a house that, say for example, upstairs are for family, downstairs will be sitting room and guests. So if you have any guests, sleepovers, whatever, we stay downstairs. The stairs will even have gates. So before you go upstairs, you'll be part of the core family. So those are measures that can be put in place. Another thing is if you want to train people and you don't really want them to live with you, it's also doable. But even at that, even people when they go to school can be abused by their teachers. People can be abused by their peer pressure. Most times children don't discuss these things with their parents because then themselves don't even understand what is happening. I've had an encounter with somebody that I think is more tilted to same sex. I don't want to mention any word. And then the guy said that when he was in seminary, a reverend father released on him. And you can imagine that thing is demonic because since then he himself has seen himself now beginning to like men instead of liking women. And for me, I see it as a mental issue. Whether we like it or not, yes, they are being included in the society, but it is more mental issue than anything because if you want a whole, women have to even try. So I don't see what they find for another man, but you know they woman. If you want muscle, you get women where they like men, we get muscle. So I don't see what will make you leave women, they follow man.
And then the lesbians, I don't even understand what is what they are doing, because I'm not a woman. When you know you have a real thing, why do you prefer, somebody that looks like, I don't understand it, but I think it's all mental. But at the same time, most of these people, say for example, that went to boarding school, they have school mothers, and their school mothers will coach them, and what's this word? Groom them, something called grooming. And then before you know it, we will think it's a normal thing. They normalize this nonsense. And you can see these days, even the West are pushing these ideologies because they're trying to control population, not because they really care about your fantasies and whatever you do to, get pleasure and whatever. The money they're investing in this thing, if they invested it in providing food for the people or providing food for Africa, the world will be a better place. But they rather tell you what to do with your sexual self. So that is it. I just laid a foundation on the girls' abuse. I know Felix was saying the other day that we should discuss about boys' abuse. It is real, especially for those who go into seminary school, boys' school, people who went to girls' school, people in sister, even nuns or be nuns or seminarians. These things do happen, and it's quite distasteful. It's very appalling when people have to go through that, especially when it happens from somebody who is in a position of trust or a position of responsibility to look after them. And this damages people. And when they grow to start, doing such an ill kind of affection, because of course they've received it and they don't know how to deal with it. Personally speaking, there was this gospel musician that was big in Onitsha that met me in a concert and told me to come to his studio. When I went to his studio, he told me to lift my clothes up. I lifted it innocently, although we've been hearing rumors that the guy was doing something with schoolboys, and he's married to another musician also that is a gospel musician. But then we didn't know. So I was like trying to find out if really it was true. The guy was like, oh, I will take you to gym. I have a problem with money. I will spend money on you. I told the guy, please give me money. Let me go home. He gave me 400 naira. I ran home that day, and I told my senior brother, I said, I should never go there. And lucky for me, I just left Nigeria after my, secondary school, and I came here. So, but then that's me escaping that. But there are so many people who are lured into that art. So that's abuse, okay? Some people do it for money. Some people do it for fame. It's as if it's a trend now. If you want to be popular, if you want to belong to a particular class or to an A list, you have to sort of be okay with some kind of things. And we're fast, moving away from what is right and what we know to be moral to what is politically correct. Even in our workplaces, we don't have a choice. But at the same time, on the inside of us, no matter how much we claim we like these people, we don't pray for our children to be like them. So that means we need to start telling ourselves the truth, and then protect our children and pray for our children. The other day I was saying, most of our families, when we were growing up, we did like morning devotion. Our parents will look after us. We could see the training, the parenting that they do. Comparing it to what we do now, we wake up and boom, we're going to work. We don't have time for prayers. So, and they go to school and they're being taught all these things, and we don't even counter it with our own doctrine or our culture or whatever. And then what do you expect? You see? So we need to sort of do better. Because yes, we're in a Western society, so we don't probably have people living with us, but we don't know what happens out there. Abuse can also be, remotely done. People can get online and people can molest them, tell them things they shouldn't see. And when your child is young, your brain is supposed to be computing things like maths, physics, English, biology, arts, and all those things. When you start seeing things that are beyond your head, it will mess up your head. And academically, you see that child will start doing bad or doing poorly in school. I've seen people who are academically sound. Once they start living wayward life, they will lose track. and nothing messes girls, especially girls, nothing messes them up at that kind of thing. Or you go and get pregnant when you're in secondary school, you want to write 1 year to get pregnant. Your own don't finish for school with that. So yeah, how do you want me to refer to you, Beatrice or Sport Reality? Which one?
Anyone you want.
Okay. I prefer Sport Reality anyway. Yeah, go on. What's your contribution?
I have that on another page. Anyways, yeah, I heard what you said, right? But if you ask my opinion, everything is narrowed down to the family. Parents, wake up, do your responsibility, wake up, face reality. Why am I saying this? A lot of parents are busy on themselves and neglecting the children. How are they neglecting their children? There is no conversation. They don't communicate with their children. They don't observe their children. They don't want to know what their children are doing. A lot is happening to these kids. And it's not just in the family. Even in the church. You're talking about devotion. Even in the church. I used to be a children teacher, right? On Sundays in the church. Let me tell you, the children are also molested in the church, right in the church, under the nose of their parents. There was a boy that was molested in the male toilet in the church, not in his house. So there are a lot of things that parents are taking their eyes away from. It's not, if you like, build separate toilets, separate bathrooms, separate. Once you're careless as a parent, that thing, all these things that we're talking about will happen in your home, under your very nose, because you're careless. These days we're busy, makeup, the man, side chick, blah blah blah. But the duty, what is your duty? What are you supposed to do? Can your children talk to you? Can they confide in you? Can you separate this over spirituality and reality? Because reality is real. If you like, do morning devotion. If you like, pray from morning till night. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do as a parent, as a person, as a guardian, if you're not doing it in your house, in your room, even in your bedroom, all these things will still happen. It will still happen because I've seen it happen. I've heard it happen. I've known. I was able to know, or privileged to know, people that it happened to. So it's high time we start, whatever complaint that we're complaining in the society, let's start correcting it from the family, from the house. Some parents, it is house girls that are doing everything. The same house girl will molest your son right in your house. The same house girl will molest your daughter right in your house. So we should wake up to our responsibility. It is happening. Children are not talking because they are not given the opportunity to talk. This thing that we're talking, fathers are doing it to their sons. To their daughters. Mothers are doing it to their sons. So this one that we're looking at society, leave society, look inward. Like yesterday, we're having conversation, the same thing that I was saying. We are busy blaming people outside. We're busy blaming government outside. We're busy. But meanwhile, in our homes, we're not doing the right thing. Because as a matter of fact, if you're doing the right thing in the house, right, you will be able to influence your child positively. And when the child goes out, even when the child mixes up with the wrong people, you will see that, one way or the other, that child will come out of that influence. I'm not saying some are not broken completely. Some are broken completely. And at the same time, this molestation that you're talking about, even the parents, husband and wife too, they are doing things that are influencing their children negatively, but they are not observant. They are careless about it. They are not seeing. They are not watching. They are just, some parents abuse their children emotionally with their own behavior. So let's stop talking the talk. We talk too much, and then we leave the action. Children, what they see is what affects them more. It's not what you're telling them. You give them Bible passage. I remember, back in my church girl days, you see some parents, hypocrites, they will be giving, go read Bible passage, but they don't want to know what the child is going through emotionally. Now, as a person, I was able to, understand some children because of what I saw growing up in some families. And then me too, some things that happened to me without people in the house knowing. And let me tell you, let me put this out today. If not for the control that I had from the house, if not for the control and some real truths that were discussed in front of me as a child, I don't know what I would have become today. Honestly speaking, I don't know what I would have become today.
Have you been abused in any way, shape,
Sorry?
or form? Have you been ever abused, like in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I had seen some stuff in front of me happening, right? That I was not supposed to see as a child. I saw it, and I treated it like a child would do. But on a good day, I was not supposed to see. And it was not in my house. It was outside my house when I went to play. But like I said, there was one time, the last time I was like, I have been molested, but there was no penetration. Do you understand? And if not for the grace of God, like I said, that's why I kept saying the home, the foundation, our family. Because if they were not doing, and even my grandparents, my great-grandparents were not doing their job, right? That thing that I saw outside would have affected me greatly, negatively. But because from the house, I have known things that my mates were not privileged to know as a child, right? When I saw it outside, I was able to, with my small head then, I was able to know that this is a bad thing. Or this uncle or this auntie is a bad auntie. She is spoiled, like this person is spoiled with the child brain and all that. And then when I started growing up, these children playing together, and then we'll be doing mama and papa and all that. I don't know if you know that, if you are privileged to. So I also went through that process, and I also saw what some grown-ups, when I say grown up, then as a child, when I say child, 7, 8, 9, 10, were children. And then we'll see some 18 years, 17 years performing some acts that were different from we innocently playing on our own. You get what I'm saying? And they are no adults. The adults probably would have gone out for their business or gone out for job or something. But these were happening innocently. Some of us were seeing it. You understand? But because like I said, let me put this out. When I say parent, I'm serious about it. Parents should do their job. Now my grand aunt then. I want to tell you about the control now that parents are supposed to put in place. My grand aunt, she's she's my grandfather's last born, right? So she was the one that brought me up. So she was very careful. Precisely her own, I can remember her own vividly because it's something that she did consistently, right? So she's very careful. She doesn't want a situation because I'm her niece. Am I her niece? No. Yes, she's my grand aunt. So she's very careful. She doesn't want a situation where people will say it was from her that I got spoiled, that she couldn't train me or she couldn't take care of me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she's very careful, and then she used to say it. Now, I thought she was just saying, as a child, I don't see it as tough. But, over time, I started seeing my aunt acting it. How was she acting it? Now, we're trained, we had freedom as children. I enjoyed freedom as a child, right? But when I go out, play, and come back, brought in the middle of the night, this kerosene lamp, this glove kerosene lamp now, home lamp.
Yeah, the one you clean the glass.
Exactly. Now, when I'm sleeping, like sleeping deep, do you know my grandaunt to bring that whatever lamp, open my body, my downside, and be checking if they have molested me.
But can you really check? Can you really? I think I've heard some people say that they check their daughters, whatever. I'm not. I don't, like I said, I don't have the daughter yet. I pray.
No, but I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about some people. I'm talking about me now.
That's a question. Like, do you really know if somebody has been defiled by opening up their body? Because I see some parents, they treat their daughter.
You don't know. You don't know. You definitely know. Because
the woman, after some minutes, your body contracts back to normal, no?
Guy, listen, you're talking about adults. We're talking about babies now. When a baby is molested, because I got to know from what from the families that it happened to, right? When a baby is molested, you will check, or parents that have checked, you will see this pus. You know pus, right?
Pus, like pimple.
Pus, like what? I don't know what was. I don't know the other name. Like if you have boil, that stuff that comes out of it.
Yeah. That if you burst it, water will come out.
The head. That's not water, now the creamy one.
Yes, happens. Yeah.
What do they call it?
I don't even know if that's what you call it.
Now there was a baby that it happened to closely, not too far from my house. How did they find out? They saw that in a downside. And then of course, a very careful parent will know when that side starts smelling differently from the normal smell. Where I grew up, in my own place, in my own town, in my community, in my family, they took extra care of us, the women. Yes. So how did I know? I've seen it around. I've seen it happen to children around, because the elders, they used to have serious conversation in front of me because they think I'm innocent and I don't know what they are saying. You understand what I'm saying? But over time, I got to know what they are talking about. So it happened to children. Yes, that I know. So that's how my grand aunt was checking. This thing was not, she wasn't checking just 1 day, 2 days. Because why? I heard when I was growing up, I used to be this pretty small child, right? And then she would put these beads around my waist and all that. And of course, most times it's topless. A child now, small girl, what do you know? And then there are some terrible men, broken young boys that probably, their childhood is just not nothing to write home about. Do you understand? That once in a while we'll hear incidents about such things happening. So this is something she knows. She also goes to take care of other people's children, like newborn babies and all that. Do you understand? So now our fear is that let our child not come and spoil in her hand. People will now like, oh, she's a careless mother. She wasn't doing her duties. So this was how she was checking. Now, I didn't know until after, when I say consistently, something that she was doing regularly. So even after I now realized that this is what she was doing, because one day I pretended to be sleeping, but I wasn't sleeping, and she was checking. And she wasn't just checking with her eyes, she also used her nose to check. These are older, elderly people now, so they know everything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So every night she has to do this check, or once a week?
No,
or
I don't know if it is every night, but what I'm saying is it is something that she was regularly doing until I became conscious of it. So when I noticed that she was here, I would just pretend like I'm not seeing, but I was seeing what she was doing. Now, what was the consciousness? What has she put in my body? She has put in my body that place is a no-no area. Do you understand? That something can actually injure that place. I didn't know. Now I'm talking with my small baby sense that something can actually happen to that place, because as she was checking, she was talking. So I was hearing what she was saying. So I was hearing the kind of words that she was doing, and I was hearing the description that she was giving. She was just doing it innocently as, a mother. So all this is now got stuck in my head.
So if you have a child tomorrow, or when you have a child, will you do the same to your daughter?
My brother go do more than what my grandaunt did.
Ma'am, grandmas does that before batting you. Really?
Exactly. Bros, I will do more. As I'm talking to you now, I will do more than what I'm in America, but I'm telling you today that I will do more than what my grandaunt did. Because
let's calm down. There's an angle I want to drive this conversation. When we talk about abuse, you will think sexual sexual abuse, but then there are other forms of abuse. There is
Exactly.
financial abuse, when your children needs money and you make them do some certain things before you give them money. That one, they abuse me because my uncles will give me money when they come to visit us. My parents will take it. Not my parents, my mom will take it and promise me she will buy me December clothes and all these things. December will reach, she will use it and do Christmas business and will never give me the money. If I cry too much, she will tell me that all the yaya she buy me every evening from market that I've been shopping, that I should bring it back. So, but there's financial abuse.
Yeah.
There is emotional abuse, which is the worst form of abuse. Well, I wouldn't say it's the worst form because sexual might be the worst. But there is psychological abuse as well. Now, with the rate of divorces, adults are not really paying attention into what will be the fate of their children with this divorce, or with this being a baby mama, or do you understand? People are just waking up and getting out of relationships or doing whatever they like, and forgetting the fact that they have a young person to take care of, to cater for, to teach life. You know, this life, I figured that it takes you about 18 years to figure this life out. This life is a lot. A lot is going on in this life, and it's ever changing and evolving. Some adults will tell you that they've not even figured out their own life. And this is why I was saying to my wife the other day, like, a lot of people are not yet ready to be mothers. They just keep enjoying sex until, boom, it happens to them that they are mothers. So they are not ready. They don't know what it means to nurture somebody. I tell you what happened to me the first time I had a baby. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I have a baby? So, and you know, there's a psychological thing these people do to you intelligently in the hospital. Once you are pregnant and they ask you to see your first child and you say yes, they will start calling you daddy. The nurse will start calling you baby daddy. Sorry, how do they call it? Yeah, they will start calling you daddy. Like, they start calling you daddy before the real child comes. The real child doesn't know how to talk, but they will be calling you daddy. Do you understand? Now, dad is here, daddy. They will be making you to realize or be in the consciousness that, okay, you have a child now. So now you yourself, you are now beginning to, oh, I just finished wedding now. Oh, wow, I have a child, you know. So it will start down on you. And that's why a lot of people will tell you that maybe they are living rough life. Or they will tell you, oh, I changed when I had my daughter. Oh, I changed when I had my son. Oh, I changed when I had my child. Because that responsibility, you just feel like this is so precious. Oh, I'm not ready for this. But God, you gave me this. You know what it means for a child to come out from your body? My wife cried. It was like, oh, wow. So I have a child. It's an unbelievable experience. So it's a very beautiful experience. But then how people throw that away all of a sudden and then neglect that child. You see people carrying their child to dustbins. You see people carrying their child and put them in a bag. You see people, there was one woman, I think she's mental, she was using knife to choke her own child in one of these African countries. Like, honestly, neighbors were trying to break in and get into her house, but she killed the child before you get there. A lot of people are messed up because of how do they speak their English again? Postpartum depression or whatever. But then, with all these things, I think one of the major reasons is that we are losing core family unit. You can still have a core family unit that is multiple wives. You can still have a core family unit because people don't really understand the benefits of having a man in the house. Children go through phases. Life is in steps. It's like in stages. Do you understand? You need your mom for some certain things and you need your dad for some certain things. If I walk through the door, my boys are running to me. After a while, you will notice naturally they will leave me and go to their mom. After some time, sometimes they will leave their mom and come to me. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So they sort of need you there. If you're not there, they'll be okay. They'll be playing. They will replace you with their toys or TV. But any day you come in, you will see the way they will jump on you, and then you appreciate that these boys really do need you. And that's why some people tell you, I don't work Saturdays or I don't work Sundays. It's for family. Because they know there is a reason. There is a need for them in the family. Now, when you because of your own selfish interest that you want to have multiple women, or you want to divorce your wife so you go and marry a fresh girl, you abandon these kids. I mean, here in the West, people use children to have paper. People just go and born to without have paper. And then you forget that that child is going to be an adolescent tomorrow, puberty, and then become an adult. So how would he feel when he then grows up and say, "Where is your dad?" Some people don't know. I've met people that say, "I don't know my dad though." Some people say, I know I'm from Nigeria. Have you ever been? No. You could ask the way they will answer you, go no say really. They don't know them, but about just use them give back. There are men who are very nonchalant, and this is why I was talking the other day about men being a man. Society is fast crumbling because our men are becoming less of a man, and also the society, the government is not even helping, trying to equate men with women, and a lot of men are even turning half man, half women. So now women don't even know where they stand again. They cannot succumb to men, and then a few of them are turning to themselves to be lesbian. So at the end of the day, our society is just like a lot of mess going on.
And that's why I kept emphasizing the family, because and conversation with the children you should not wait till when they are 10, when they are 15. No, from 5, 6. As a matter of fact, all these sensitive things that we're talking about, 5, 6, 7, you have started conversation with them, because the things you think you are avoiding from telling them, they go outside and get it.
No,
And
but
it's wrong when
let
they
me
go
say
outside.
something. Let me say something in that aspect. Right? Growing up, my parents, my dad, my mom never sat me down to discuss sex.
Does
Did they
that
do
make it
that?
right? Does that make it right?
Did they do that to you? I'm asking. Did you have like sexual education from your parents?
I said directly, I didn't grow up with my parents.
So
I
whoever
mean, by the way, I did
your
not grow up with
guardian, did
I
anybody
just,
sit you down and start telling you?
that's what I'm saying. I said there were some conversations that were being held in front of me,
No,
because I had
it's
aunties.
just different. What you are asking me to do is to sit my child down and talk to them about this. I'm
Yeah,
saying,
because
did you
things
have
are
somebody
changing.
talk to you about it when you are young, when you're a child?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, but there is a way I got mine. Do you understand? Like I said, I had these aunties and uncles and all that, and trust women. There were no conversation that they were not having in front of me.
That is
Now
different now.
they did
You
differently.
were
No, listen now.
eavesdropping. You are not really being told to. You are
Wait,
not being
listen.
talked to.
Wait, listen now. They were. I didn't have this sitting me down, telling me this, telling me that. But as a
Mm.
matter of fact, when they are scolding me as a child, they were putting informations to me directly that leads to all
No, that's
these things.
different now. If man touch you, you get belly. This one now, I know. We understand. What I'm trying to say is that
It's not even man touch you. It's not even man touch you matter. It is because, of course, like I said, my childhood was sweet. I played, I had my freedom and all that as a child, right? Now, as you're going out, there are things they will tell me. As you're going out, make sure you don't go when they call you to one corner or small. Make sure you don't do all that and all that and all that. Those were message, right? And that was then. But at the same time, even that time, there were some families.
it's more like scaring you, right? It's more like
No,
putting fear
no,
in you.
no, no, I don't see it as caring, because listen, those things that I heard in the house, there are some families that were sitting their daughters down and were having conversations with them. So when we come together, we they talk about these things. My
Yeah.
mom said,
No. That I didn't get that from my parents did not mean that I didn't get that from school. What I'm trying to say is that during our biology class or moral instruction, or as they call it then, you of course you know, even we had like
but it's
HIV/AIDS
happening then.
to sensitize us. So we sort of know that you shouldn't have sex. If you have
No,
sex in
no, no,
biology, you
no,
have to.
that's not the point I'm talking about. That's far. I'm talking about now. See, now listen, your own upbringing and now was not the same. The setting then and now were not the same, right? Like one of my aunts will tell me in our time, because I used to like, when I saw a picture wearing bongo trousers and all that, I don't know if you know that trouser and these big
Mhm.
boots, whatever. And I said, Mommy, what is it now? I said, she now said, in our time, whatever that is happening now was happening then, but it was minimized, right? That what is happening in our own set now is just outrageous. No respect, no nothing. So now the children that are coming now, that they are being given birth to now, you should not wait. That they did not give that education to you does not mean that you have to wait till these
No,
days
no, no,
children, they are
no,
smarter
no,
than.
no, no, no. Hold on. I'm going to say something John said in one of his live. He says if you're in a friend's house and the door is sitting probably adjacent watching TV while you are there, and mistakenly her legs, you can, because she's wearing skirts, she can be loose, she's in her house, and then you say to her, close your leg. The parents might look at you like, you pervert. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So sometimes in trying to fight something, you might even give it. Okay, I watched a video today that I posted on my Insta story where somebody was showing how people steal cars. About 54 cars are stolen every day in Canada, right? Now somebody said in the comments, oh, this guy just taught us how to steal cars. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that if you are trying to curb something, you might end up giving it more light. So my parents not telling me about sex might have mean, of course, even as a young child, like I told you the other day, a girl introduced me to it. Of course, I even enjoyed it because I was young anyway. But it wasn't an elderly. But what I'm trying to say is that if they have spoken about it, maybe I will become more aware, okay, there's something they told me not to do. But because they didn't tell me about it, I sort of didn't see, I don't know if it's like there are things, the way they even teach you other things, this thing is highly extreme. They don't need to tell you about it to know that daddy will not accept. And then you watch Nollywood movies, you see the movies is centered around if you become pregnant when you are young, they call it Mbuke. No man will want to marry you, stuff like that. Single mom was really, really frowned on in our culture.
Can I tell you something? Because like I said, all these ones, you're talking advanced. I am talking the foundational. Listen up. Now, growing up, if the weather is just too cold, my mom will say, make sure you go. See, there are different ways I was being checked. In fact, I'm talking to you now, I'm remembering some of them. There are different ways that I was being checked and taught. Like I said, action. It is not what you're saying to your children. It is the action that they see you perform. Now, if my mom is not ready for me to take my bath, she will tell me, go wash the downside, brush your mouth, wash your face. Now, before she started giving me that responsibility, she will stand and watch me do it, teach me how to do it. And as she was doing it, she was looking at my expression. Why was she looking at my expression? Just in case I'm injured down, she will observe to know that something is happening to that place. My mom opened conversation. I'm not talking about educated university graduates, so no. But she gave me the kind of education that before I even got into school, like higher class, I had already known so many things. Now she will stand there, watch me washing it. She will say, do like this, do like that. And as she was telling me, she was looking at my expression from my face down. What was she doing? She was observing if there is any touch there, if I'm feeling pain or anything, if there is body.
I think your upbringing, sorry, but I think it was too much centered on, I mean, okay, let me put it this way. I think it was oversensitized. Because hold on, let me say something, right? Growing up, we used to go, when it rained, like we live downstairs, we live at the floor of the yard, we live at the ground level. Some people live at first floor, second, on the channel, it's like always store rising. So when it rained, we as kids, we run outside and play in the water. We like to dance and play in water. We are innocent. Children, whether you like it or not, have innocent mind, both Western world and Nigeria. Do you understand? So I think there's a degree of oversensitization that probably you can give to the girl child, which I understood. Because then, if a young boy and a young girl is playing, if the boy is naked, dangling his little thing, they will always tell the girl to go and wear pants. At least wear pants. Are you getting me? Now, we didn't know why always women will have to wear pants when we are enjoying ourselves naked. Are you getting it? Then we used to go at the back when water used to run in the hole on Metropolis and open the tap and dash outside.
As a boy, you're talking as a boy.
I'm talking as a boy, yes. But what I'm trying to say is that, of course, I'm not a girl to understand, but what I'm saying is that I think it was too much. It's a little bit too much when you start checking the girl, asking her, watching her shower. I think
Can I tell you
a
what
level of, come on now, these children are innocent. Like, you can't be thinking with your adult mind for them. Them, they are playing. They don't think like that.
Can I burst your bubble? When the thing you're saying, oversensitized over this, at 12, a girl got pregnant and had twins in our very before as children. In fact, it was talk of my hometown that we're all running to go, because as a matter of fact, it's like they hid it for a long time. Do you understand? When she was pregnant and all that. So we that are from different compound, we didn't get to know. When she gave birth, their compound was like a tourist center. You need to see the crowd that went to find out through 12 years she gave birth. Yes. So what you're saying, you're just saying it from your own side. But let me tell you, that same age that you're talking about,
do you agree? Hold on, let me say something. Do you agree that there is a way you say something, right? And instead of making somebody pull away, you start making that person to pull towards that thing?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
My brother, listen.
Do
Nigeria.
Do you know, like, it's like when you are fasting, and there is food, your mind will go to that food more. But if you're not fasting, you can go and playing without remember you've not eaten. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, I understand, and Lillian is saying girls have their puberty earlier than boys, so it's better to start as early as possible. Yes, I understand that, but I think there's too much you can lure the girl. So that innocence have age for boys and girls. I understand what girls are saying, but for me, do you know how free girls are in the Western world? Here, they can wear bomb shorts, they can wear almost pants and walk around. You, as a man, you can look tired, but you dare not stop them because that's license to prison. So again, hold on, don't talk over me so people cannot hear me. So what I'm trying to say is, why parents, and I'm not saying to say that it's okay, but why parents are okay with working with their kids and their kids are wearing things very skimpy to show their bum, right? It's because they know that they're in a society whereby at least nobody will touch their daughter, except their daughter do it with probably their peers, their folks in school, right? People do have sex from 13 here in this country, but then at the same time, you don't have that extra fear that somebody is going to come out, because you know there's very, very big repercussions if something like that get caught. Say, for example, if a teacher molests a child here, that's straight license to prison. There's no argument. So maybe in societies like Nigeria, maybe of course there's less consequence. Things like that happen because we found out so many times. It's always in the news in Instablog. An old man molests this child. An old man molests. There was one man was molesting about 3 of them at the same time. So I get your point. But what I'm trying to say is that if I'm raising kids today, excuse me, I wouldn't want to be talking to them every day about sex. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yes, yes, I will probably, if we are watching a movie and they want to do that scene, I'll fast forward it, or I'll tell them close your eyes. Like what we are doing. Like those days when we are watching Hollywood or watching all these movies, when it gets to that part, we with ourselves, we go use ourselves, we go use our own self, close our own eyes, show say we know they wash. So, but our parents never told us, oh, don't do this, oh, don't touch a girl. Oh, do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's like things we learned in school and church and stuff like that. We sort of learned how to pray, morning devotion, how to read Bible. So we are preoccupied by the positives and not being told not to do the negative, because there is a way. If you look right in society, you find out that most pastors' children go wayward. Do you know why? It is that over, don't do this, don't do that. You're not allowed to do this. You're a pastor child. They cannot. So when you do that too much, they want to break loose. They want to try those things. But if you give a child a free hand, of course, that's some rules, but not there trying to be in their business or micromanaging their everyday activity, then at some point you will find out that child innocence, it's like going through your child's phone. I'm not saying it's wrong, but then sometimes give that child a benefit of that they are innocent for their age. Because so what happens to parents is that sometimes they use their own corrupt parents' mind, especially the evil they have done as parents, and use it to judge those children. I think they are doing the same. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I disagree with you completely. And that's, I'll tell you, I don't understand what you're saying because I
Whether
disagree
you
with
agree or
you.
not, some of us were not brought up with that kind of shower. Let me watch you shower. Oh, somebody talk. No, that they are children. Allow them to grow. Let them
My
be
brother, the truth about the matter is that in Nigeria, a lot of families were pretending about most of these things. There were so many families that were just pretending saints, pretending this, that, and at the end of the day, as we're speaking, a lot of them are crying. If I had known. So this one that you're
no, no, no,
saying is not
no, no, no.
majority.
Hold
You're not
on,
talking for majority.
hold
You can
on.
speak for
What's
yourself.
reality? What do you mean if I have known? What can you do?
I said some parents. I'm not referring to you, right?
No,
I
no,
said parents.
I'm saying for those parents as well. If I have known, if you knew, what would you do apart from talking to the child? There are
Well,
people
like I
that knew the child
said,
is seeing someone, try to stop that child, and the child will still go ahead and see the person.
okay, now
There are
you
some
said
people that know
something
that the
about,
child are doing some bad things, try and talk them out of it, and they still. So I don't think what I want you to understand is that a child consenting to sex, whether with a fellow child or an adult, purely based on that decision she makes at that particular moment. So of course, at some point you have to go to work. At some point you have to do other stuff. So you cannot necessarily be with your child every time of the day. In fact, what you're trying to say is not preventive but reactional. Let me check and see if something has happened. Then what are you going to do? You go and find who is the culprit and lock the person
myself
up.
that I use. I want you to understand something, right? Myself that I use as an example of what I saw happening to me. Now, would I want to go that path or would I want to go that far of what my grand aunt did? No, mine may not be that frequent. But will I want to check? Yes, I will check. And am I going to just check my girls? No. This training that I'm talking about, it's going to be for both my
No,
boys.
no, 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 no.
No, listen, no, you can't say, no. Your opinion is different. I'm talking about my own
No, my
opinion
opinion is
because
not really
what
different. I just don't want us to overemphasize the
you
negative things that
You
could.
have to
So
allow me
it's
to
like okay,
land. No,
okay,
you
hold
have
on.
to allow me to land. You're just cutting me short.
Okay, okay.
You're not allowing me to
Let me read
express.
what Lillian said. Lillian said, but children can be pretentious about their innocence. Yes, I agree. They can play on you. It's just making them comfortable enough to let it out. I understand, but let's what out? What has already happened or what is about to happen? So if you are telling me you're educating your child to let you know when somebody has made an advance, then of course that child should be of a particular age to sort of sense, okay, there's a danger. Oh, my mom said you shouldn't touch me here. Now you're touching me here. I have to report it to my mom. If you're trying to say that, I can understand. But what we're talking about is like children who are too young. Like you said, some moms, there was a video of one girl, she was changing her little boy, and another friend was videoing, and she was actually, how am I going to say this without sounding erotic? Sucking the boy's whatever, little thing. It was on video. A child, you're changing a child. You know when you change nappies and you're sucking whatever, is the child your boyfriend? Why giving him BJ? So that is what I'm trying to say. So when these kind of things happen, how do you deal with it? When a child starts going into puberty and going to school and knows what is, oh, he's trying to lure me, he was giving me biscuits, or he was trying to give me money, then she can be comfortable to discuss it with you. These are different stages. But when a
I,
child doesn't know what you are doing, doesn't know how to communicate it, is still too
I,
young to talk or even express, then how do you stop it? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? It's two different things.
when I was growing up as a child, the conversation I was having from 5 years upward, you'll be shocked that older people used to sit down to ask in the family to ask where, how did she hear all these things. Now, what
Is
am
it a
I
good
trying to
thing?
tell you?
Is it a good thing?
What am I trying to tell you? Children are different. Some are smart, some are extra smart. Do not wait until they are of that age of telling you this or that or that. Start the conversation early. When you start the conversation early, you will not even need to follow them up. They will come to give you those informations that you need to know that has been happening to them as they go out. Why am I saying this fast forward? Because where I'm talking from, mine is a bit different from what you're from your own side, even though we're saying almost the same thing. But I don't think I will, because me, I talk with facts when I want to say certain things, because I saw things happening, and that's why I'm saying it the way I'm saying. Now, let me fast forward it to girls that grew almost under me, not directly under me, but my cousin's children. Now, because all these things I'm talking about started early, by the time they got into secondary school, I'm like one of their favorite auntie, right? There is nothing they don't say in front of me. So because we've been having conversation, there was one day I went to visit them, and then I was helping them to wash their clothes, because I'm like, they are my favorite children, are my favorite, because I can make them open up to me, because my childhood, I use it, and I don't forget most of it. So I was able to relate with them based on where I am coming from. So we're now having conversation, and then they started telling me stories about what have started happening in their secondary school. And then they didn't know that they were reporting themselves. We're talking about innocence now, like you said, like you were saying. They're innocent. We're not scolding them, but we used to have conversation with them, and we started that conversation a little bit early. So they started telling me, this one was reporting the other one. Do you know that when this boy, there was this half-caste in our school, as he was coming, this one was there, and then she now laughed, and she now touched him, he now touched her, and then they were talking, about 4 of them, without them knowing that they were exposing themselves. They reported everything to me.
But that's not abuse now. If they are playing, let's define. Hold on. Let's define something here. If you are in school, like when we were in primary school, we used to have beautiful girls. Then we don't even know what is in a woman's body. We don't know. All we know is that this one is Aquia. We used to call it Aquia.
You know what I'm saying? No, you did not allow me to feel. You don't allow me to feel.
Let's define abuse. Abuse is when somebody of a higher age is taking advantage of a little child's innocence. Especially when somebody is in a position of trust. An auntie.
Children don't abuse themselves.
No, now they are the same age.
Oh, really?
Okay, what would you call that abuse? If like a boy and a girl playing,
whatever name you're going to call it, it will still go close to. If a girl is not ready or does not want to do, and she was being forced by her mates to do it, what name are you going to call it? Or how do you prevent it before you get to that point?
I don't think their age is going to do. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not speaking as an expert on the subject matter, but then I don't think their age is that evil compared to an older person. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Think about when you are young, when you are in your class. The way your classmates will relate to you.
RUAPE. Is there any word called RUAPE?
No.
If you don't, hold on.
Don't go too far. Don't go too far. We are talking about children here. And I'm talking as listen, I'm throwing myself back as when I was young. A young child now, will probably like a young girl in her class, normal, platonic, normal. They probably will call themselves husband and wife. I will marry you when I grow up. They will do all these things. Oh, I want to kiss her. Oh, I get. Those things are normal. I wouldn't have a problem if my child came back saying, oh, they will even be the one telling you, like the way you explained that they were telling you, oh, that I have a girlfriend now. I want to go to my, oh, this is my wife, this is my, haven't you seen all like all these boys and girls when they are doing page boys or page girls in your wedding and they kiss themselves?
You didn't even allow me to finish. Do you know what that has even led to?
No, hold on. Like I told you.
Whatever it leads to is not important, right?
No, hold on. I want us to be on the same page. Hold on, I don't want us to be discussing 2 different things. I want us to be on the same page. When I told you that a girl lured me into something, I didn't see it as abuse because she was a child as well. Yes, she might be an older child, but then as against an auntie doing the same exact thing to me, that would be, of course, damaging me. So what I'm trying to say to you is that boys and girls doing things their age, or like we come here in this country, you see girls, they turn their skirts up, and then of course they know the boys are skirting and doing all of that, and they send the pictures of their nude to themselves. That is within their age. That is at least can be still managed, right? They will grow up and their innocence or their damage level is still low compared to when a teacher does the same thing to the child. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. There is a pure taking of and taking advantage of when somebody who is smarter.
When you say a teacher of 19 and a student of 14, a teacher 19 years and a 14 years old student,
they can still be classed as teenagers, but then one is above 18. Of course, that's still wrong.
19 years is an adult. How can you say teenager?
No, they are still teenagers now. 19. You enter 20 then you're not
19 is not teenager. 19 is an adult. He's a young adult.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's above 18. But what I'm trying to say is, without us getting into the nitty-gritty of the ages, right? All I'm trying to make you understand is that there is a way you said too much about these things, you start projecting it into their thoughts. So why not go through the positive way? Engage your children with sports, engage your children with math. See, let them do their homework. Let them do academics. They will have little time. See, if my child comes back from school, instead of me sitting him down and asking him, did anybody touch you? We will do homework. We will do maths. Your brain will go straight to your head. That's what my mom did with me. My mom was doing homework. My mom was like, because give me up to read. We don't have time to be talking about girls because you are going to school to learn academics, not to go and see women. Are you getting what I'm saying? So, whether or not people will do all those things, yes, they will do because, of course, little boys are curious. What is in the girl's pants? I want to see. But at the end of the day, you have to learn whatever life. You have to learn life and whatever is going on.
How many years? How long have you stayed in UK?
Just 11. No, since 2010, 13 years.
Okay. You see me, a Nigerian woman I be, right?
How many years you done in America?
About 5 years in, very soon 5 years. See, me,
so you still Nigerian mentality.
No, wait. It's all about, you can call it mentality, but I have mixed up with, I have mixed up with people, different colors, that still go, people that had this foundation, that still tell me that we still have conversation like this. So it has nothing to do with.
The teacher told me that when they call the parents of their students, and say to them that what your daughter wore to school is too short, the parents will turn around and say to the teacher, is there no any other thing that you guys have to talk about that you are calling me to report a little child?
That is the parents' business. But
no,
me, that is talking to you.
And this is why I said to you, I've seen parents walking with their children wearing very skimpy things. They believe the child just wants to express that. Don't teach the child how to
is their
think all those things.
When a child is a child, that is their business. When a child is a child, me personally, they allowed me to be a child. They allowed me, as a matter of fact, I enjoyed my childhood, right? And then when they knew, they quickly noticed, because we're of different breeds, right? So they quickly noticed my activeness and quickly put me under control. So I don't care what any parent is coming to America or UK to come and pretend to be, to be more civilized than what their parents or what they saw growing. That's their business. But me now, I'm talking about me now. What I'm saying is that, yes, there is sports. Yes, there are activities. Yes, there are schoolwork. The way I'm going to show them the schoolwork, the same way I'm going to show them what the conversation I'm having with you now.
Okay, good. Let's say you do that. Me, I will do it. See, I asked one man. The man is well established. I asked him. I said, "How do you teach your children fear or love?" He said, "Love," but then give them loads of activity. The other day, John was also saying that he takes his boy to IT. There's a way you bombard children with activity. They will have little time to sleep. When they come back, they knock out. Say, for example, you take them to taekwondo, you take them to swimming, you take them to football, you take them, they are coming from school, you're taking them to this activity. And this is what parents do here in the UK. Yeah, the child have little time to think about sex. Because don't forget, an idle man is a devil's workshop. and their libido is very little when they are young. So they're not thinking the way adults get horny every second. Them, they don't really think about it. Are you getting me? Now, I want you to also understand something. You grew up without, okay, so for example, you grew up in your own setting. Now, if a child is being raised up, say for example, in a convent or raised up by a reverend father, that child will be different. That child will not have some kind of things, right? Now, if a child is growing up in a ghetto, the security around that child in a jail is going to be different. I don't know if you are making sense. Now, here in the UK, for example, in a day, if you walk out in a day, normal day, like me with the drive Uber, you go see laps tire. You go see girls laps tire. Now, what that does to you is that...
How come they see the ones who no show laps? There are also so many
No, hold on now. I'm driving a point home. I'm driving a point home. What that does to you is that as you are seeing those laps, it becomes normal. You now see, okay, this thing is just normal. As against the society where everybody is covered. Say, for example, you're in a Muslim country, everybody's wearing that long black dress, ninja, only eyes. The day where you go make mistake, can't see woman laps. I don't see something I'm not supposed to see. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So what they are trying to do is to subconsciously let you know that a girl's thighs is normal. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? And you shouldn't reject when you see it or start thinking, I've seen something I shouldn't see. So when you normalize it, then people will start having that whatever happens to men when they see women, they start living their sense.
I disagree. The only thing that is keeping those people
you
together.
You can't be disagreeing now. What is your point of disagreeing?
Listen, what is keeping them together is rule. Is rule.
No, yes,
you cannot tell me.
Yes, rule, yes. But what I'm trying to say is that, okay, hold on, let me ask you. What happens in the beach when you go to the beach? Everybody goes to swimming pool. What happens? You expect everybody to be naked, Abby? Now, because you expect everybody to be naked.
I don't expect everybody to be naked because there are still people that they wear things that you don't get to see.
You go to swimming pool, you wear clothes that because of your body, you're not proud of your body. What are you talking? If you go swimming pool or you go beach, wear better clothes. Now, because maybe you are not proud of your figure, or as a man you get pot belly, as a woman you get bingo wings or whatever they call it.
Men like you, they spoil women. Where women they feel say they don't get their body no good.
I told you that in the beach, you expect everybody to be naked and wear pants and beach wear. You said no. And at the time you say all those people they wear clothes. Now because of body shaming, they feel they're not proud of their body. If a guy has six-pack, hold on. Your name is sports reality. You have to be real. If a guy is well built, have six-pack, everything, he come beach, he go to wear clothes, he go one show. If a girl is hot, he come beach, he go one wear clothes, he go one naked. So all I'm trying to say is that now you've normalized it that when you go to the beach, everybody's going to be like this. So you're not going to expect anything. But then if you carry that beach girl with her dress and put in a church, everybody goes scatter. Why are you wearing this thing? It's the same people. It is still in the open. But the only thing is that here there's people not wearing this kind of thing. Here there's multiple people wearing this kind of thing. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. If our society normalizes people wearing bomb shorts because they think it's hot, then men will be used to seeing it that they will say, okay, now there's nothing to it. Look at this one, look at this one, look at this one. Okay, that's fine. But because we make it a problem, when they do see it, they start saying, do you know what I saw today? I saw some girls laugh. Then it becomes a challenge to them.
It is. What I'm saying is that they laugh, and the way you're taking it to is not where I'm taking it to.
Okay, see what he said. I understand him. I traveled to the north. I was looked like I'm naked for wearing leggings. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Because probably they have not seen somebody wearing leggings.
It depends on where she went to. Because I have also gone to the north and I wore what I wanted to wear because of the environment that I was.
No, so now somebody is telling you her experience, you can't rubbish it. I've met somebody from Jordan that told me that she left her country to come here because she wants to be able to dress free.
You're not getting me. I did not say what she said was wrong. Listen to what I said. I said that is our own experience. I have also gone to the north I've been to Kano, I've been to Kaduna, I've been to Plateau and all that. It depends on where she went to, because there are some area you will go to in that north and you wear that leggings, you'll be seen somehow. And there's some area that you also go to, that leggings is something that people are wearing and it's just normal.
No, I agree now, but that's not the contention here. What I'm trying to say to you, calm down, please calm down. What I'm trying to say to you here is, if you have two children, one was raised in the UK, one was raised in Nigeria, you carry what the one in UK is wearing in summer and take her to Nigeria and she wears the exact same thing, she will immediately feel threatened because of society. You carry the one in Nigeria and bring them to UK, immediately they will tell her that you need to loosen up. Here is a secure environment. People really do not care less, and there's heavy consequences if you're attacked. All you need to say is say it out, and the person will, of course, be prosecuted. Now, you understand that there is difference in that society. Now, I was telling you that me growing up, yeah, I didn't have to have that kind of training, and God forbid, I didn't have any aunties that molested me. I used to go on holidays. Do you understand? I didn't have those kind of teachers or whatever. I was okay as a child. So when you are saying this experience, it might sound somehow to me that as a child you had to worry about sexual stuff a lot. Do you understand? Now, I'm not taking your experience out of you. That's your experience.
No, wait. See, when I put out something, I want it to be the way I put it out, right? Now, I did not worry about that, right? Like I said, whatever my grand-aunt did, she was doing it consistently. I did not know until when I noticed it. And when I noticed it, the way she did it, I was listening to the words that she was coming out of her mouth. They were not threatening to me at all. As a matter of fact, why will I, if it was so terrible, why will I see it and now put my eyes together and then I'll be watching her small? Because it was not scaring. As a matter of fact, it was part of my training that I also enjoyed. In fact, I even enjoyed that part so much because what she was saying was not like intimidating or something to make me, to scare me or anything. No, she was not beating me. She was just performing a role as my guide, as my mother. And that was why I liked it. But if she was doing, I didn't mean she was doing it with fear or to make me feel bad or to scare me and all that. Today I won't be talking about it. And it would have cost me one pain or the other. And I will not be happy to talk about it. But anyway, I'm talking about this thing. I'm happy talking about it because it molded me.
I've made a point to you. I asked you a question. I said, would you do the same to your daughter? You said, yes, even in America, you would. Yes. Then I tried to make you understand that the scenario is not the same. That now being in the UK, I'm even more secure. It didn't happen to me in Nigeria, probably because I didn't grow up in your setting. But even here in the UK, it's even more secure. So I don't have the same challenges. Now, probably I will be talking to my children against some other things. Hold on, let me state this fact. I might be talking to my children against some other things that I know now that is becoming politically correct, that does not align with my faith, right? But even at that, I still think they are too young. Yes, they will say, oh, they are taught from young and blah, 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 blah. I think they are still too young to understand, even if they teach them in school. But saying that, yes, I want you to understand that, yes, the world is bad, but it's not that bad. You see, life is like a mirror, really. Whatever you do in front of it is what you do. If you keep thinking, these children might be molested, you will become over-obsessed with it.
So can I say something? Now, we're talking about molestation, right? Now, do you also know anything about infection? Because now, we're emphasizing molestation, and that act now, we're just narrowing it down. No. Now, for the girls, we are also sensitive. Our downside is sensitive. And if it is not well checked, you will not know when that girl has infection. An infection not necessarily when she's molested. As a matter of fact, I also experienced where a close relative's daughter was infected, not because she was molested. So that's the point where that's why I'm telling you that, will I check? When you ask me if I will check, of course I will check. But mine will not be like
Lillian said, when you are showering a child.
You're cutting me now. Now mine will not be like the way my grand-aunt did as. Do you understand? Now that happened in my hometown, not even in my city. You get what I'm saying? When we're staying in my city, she wasn't doing that, probably because there was a more secure, like you said. But when we're in our hometown, where you have different children that have different training and different setting, of course you have to check your girl child. And like I said, it is not only when the child is molested. It could be from the clothes we wear, the panties we wear, and many more, you know. So there is need for parents to check, and not just checking your girls, including your boys, but in different ways, not in a way that you'll be cajoling them every now and then, and you have to, no, that's not what I'm talking about. And that's why I also brought in communication, and you have to be very observant, because when things start changing, as an observant parent, you will know.
I agree with what you just said now, which is, without talking to the child, you are checking for your own self to make sure you're protecting the child. Of course. Check the child, not just down there. You check if, you know, because some children, they become aggressive when they come back from school, probably because their teacher has been aggressive to them, or because they are being maltreated at school. They come back and they start crying when you tell them, oh, let's go to school. They will say no. All those kind of things, yes, you can check. So, yes, I appreciate what you are saying. Do your checks. Like Lilian said, grandmas usually do it when they are showering the child. So when you are showering your child, whether boy or girl, take them, look around, make sure they are good, they are growing fine, they're developing fine. You know, if they are sports, of course, go to a doctor. Felix, good evening, my brother. Send me a request if you want to come live. We don't taste more. I know they like to do live too long. So in Nigeria, you're consciously attentive to kids. You might not go about interfering with their innocence and a close. So in Nigeria, you're consciously attentive to kids. You might not go about interfering with their innocence and a close attention. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. So when you are paying attention, make sure you're not trying to put it in their head, because their head is so innocent and so fragile at that age. They will not understand what you're trying to say. So yes, so that's the girl child. Now, like I said earlier, let us maintain nuclear families. Let us stop all these divorces and, oh, that girl cheated on me, let me go. In fact, as a matter of fact, I keep telling people, cheating should be the least reason you are leaving somebody. Because unless you yourself, you are holy, and your partner, two of you are holy and God-fearing, and you are doing born-again Christian marriage, if two of you are sinners, then expect one person to fall and be ready to forgive. Because at the end of the day, if you leave the man because he cheated on you, and you carry him picking go, you yourself, you know, go stay till you find another husband. You go still carry these children, go sleep with another man. So that is why the Bible says, if you leave your this thing, don't remarry, don't sleep with anybody, otherwise two of you are committing adultery. So at the end of the day,
no, but the Bible also said that if the person is cheating, that the person they cheat, you can actually leave the person and go and remarry.
You can actually leave the person now, but what did he say? If after leaving the person, you shouldn't remarry now?
No, open that portion, because on the ground of
this one to Bible this thing. See, what I'm trying to say is, for the interest of the children, there are so many men that are in marriages that they are dealing. Remember, the word is dealing, not even managing. They are dealing with their wives purely because of the kids.
Not in abuse, or not under abuse.
No,
not when you're abuse.
No. Hold on. Don't forget. Usually women are good. Now men, they first of all mess up. And when you mess up, women don't forgive. Unfortunately, the way they treat women is bad. Women don't have forgiveness. A man can forgive. At least the only thing men cannot forgive is when a woman cheats on them. But usually women are okay. Even if they are doing it, you won't find out. Now the men who knows Abi will go just mess up, they go catch them. And when they catch them, women go use this as an advantage to start punishing them. Even sometimes spy them. And that's why you have a lot of men die before their wives. But the point still remains, as a man, know that one of the best things you can do in this life is to train your children well. No, they leave your woman. No, they leave your children. Because again, their children will always follow their mama. Whether you hate that woman or not, the woman will always go with your children. What kind of training are you going to give, seeing a child every weekend and going to McDonald's and the park, for those that live abroad? Now, for those that are living in Nigeria, normally they send the woman packing. The woman will go back, go to village, or go and get another flat if she has money. So at the end of the day, what are you going to do to make sure those children are trained with some kind of principle to uphold family name. Do you know back in the day, growing up, you are being warned about family name. If you carry banana problem, they will say you want to bring damage to this family. You want to spoil this family name, our family name that we've been fighting so out of. So people care about name. It's like the video now. People are looking at the video, not just at the video. They're looking at Adeleke as a family. There is Dango as a family. You know, there are people that they are like the Elumelus. There are people that their family name have to be protected. The Otodolas, you see, everybody has to align. So you are told, okay, this family, you come from this royal family, you have to make sure you don't do anything. So back in the day, we had that culture. And why you had that culture is that everybody is trying to uphold the family's name, you know, for good. These days, people just behave anyhow. And that is what I'm trying to, you know, avoid. Let's pay attention to our children. Actually, when they start getting married, that's when all these things are affecting them. Men will generally tell you that, women will always be like their mama. If the man or they live with their papa, that one, they will divorce you. And that's a general rule. That's a general rule that when a woman is being brought up by a single mom, she is everly going to end up being a single mom herself. Because she has grown up and see, my mother did it alone, and me, I can do it alone. But you see women that grow up with their core family, their father and their mother intact, most times they struggle to leave that family. Whatever they see in marriage, they stay. Because parents should always be role models. And what that does is that the emotional abuse is taken away. So let us learn how to, no matter how difficult, of course, take it. Take it for the sake of our children. There are people who are doing what I'm saying now. There are people who are taking the marriages because of their children. And I applaud you for that. If you are doing it, you are doing an excellent job. Sometimes marriage will just die your natural death. The love will die. People will just turn to roommates. Be roommates too and raise their children well.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
They should be roommates.
You started enjoying Pokreko from when you did wedding till they are like 20 years. How many Pokreko again you want to do that you want to leave your woman? Some people, when they divorce their women.
Please, I'll come back.
Okay. So some people now, you are 50, you want to go and leave your wife at 50. What are you looking for again at 50? What of people that lost their husband at 40? What of people that lost their wife? And the thing with men is always with men. Men, even if a man loses his wife at 55, the man will go remarry. What is the problem with us? I don't know if you guys understand me. My mother lost my dad, and I'm not saying this to say every woman should do what my mom did. I was how many years? 13 years. My dad died. My mom didn't remarry. My mom stayed. Women can stay and raise their children without a marriage. So you enjoyed your husband for 50 odd years or 30 to 40 years. What exactly is it that you cannot stay for the children? At some point, everything will not be all rosy and sweet. These things I'm saying is not a public accepted this thing, but it's true. Another they will tell you, your parents are managing. Let them manage. They are managing for you to be able to have a better life. People are becoming selfish. That's why the Bible says that the last day people shall be lovers of themselves. Any small thing, you don't leave marriage. Any small thing, you don't leave marriage. Then you start explaining nonsense to the children. Daddy and mom are not together, but daddy still loves you. Which kind of nonsense? How do you tell a child you love him and you don't love the mother? Let's us learn these things. And then a lot of men will be so damaged, they will be going from one boyfriend away, from one girlfriend to the other. And they won't marry because normally, if you are divorcee, you find out that you are attracted to divorcees. So that when you are dealing with your own ex, they will be dealing with their own ex. So divorcee and divorcee always match. So sometimes you need to sort of stay there and take it in. You know, take it in because what I call the enjoy. You will see couples, they might not be happy for a long time. After a while, they will start becoming good again. Because what solves a lot of problems in this world is time. Time solves every problem. Time solves even this Nigerian problem. This foolish presidency that we are struggling, all this. With time, you will see Nigeria will get better. With time, nature will take care of things and you will see the right thing will sort of plan out. So time solves every problem. So no matter how difficult that marriage might be, stay in there. Even if two of you turn to roommates, yes, there are marriages that people don't have yes, but just go through it for the sake of the children. Those children need to wake up and know that dad is in that room, mom is in that room, dad is in the kitchen, mom is in the parlor, dad is in the parlor, mom is in the parlor. Not dad is living in Kafanchan, mom is living here. Two of them don't talk to each other. Some people, when their phone rings, they will say the other wants to talk to you and pick the phone. Then themselves, they won't talk to them. So when you are doing those, what are you thinking you are inculcating into the children? Already you are emotionally abusing them. Tomorrow a guy call them on the phone and they will be thinking that they will end up like their mother. And they will be treating the guys harsh. They will be struggling to commit to a relationship. So this is what I'm trying to say. Women, we have to do better. It takes a lot to keep a woman. It takes a lot to survive marriage. Of course, there will be things that are out of hand. And I pray that you figure out, and this is why they keep telling people, it is better you wait and take your time than get into a wrong marriage. Because once you are in, especially once you are in and you produce a child, you become responsible for that child, whether you are married to the mom or not. So this is a very, very harsh truth. Men learn how to stay in marriage, women learn how to stay in marriage for the sake of your children. You need to give them a call home. When you are living apart from your wife and two of you don't talk, how are you going to know if the boys are abused or if the girls are abused or if somebody is beating them? How are you going to know? And some people even give their children the financial abuse. Government, especially those in the West, government will give you money. You go use the money, buy food, go clubbing, buy drink, and then tell the child there is no money for him to buy McDonald's in the afternoon. Meanwhile, the money was provided by government, not even you. You will see it because they don't have an account. They are paying it into your account. You think it's your own income. It's not your own income. So these are things that we need to address. I hope we get the point. We cannot, of course, agree on everything, but I think what me and Spirituality was trying to, we're struggling to sort of be on the same page is, how do you train your child? Yes, the world is so evil and everything, but understand that when you come to this world, you come as a very innocent, very pure child with a clean slate, right? You start learning evil. And normally people don't just go and learn evil once. The evil, they pick it up small, bit by bit. So if you are lucky, because there is more good people in this world than evil, whether you like it or not. For every broken marriage, there is more marriages that are still intact. Whether you like it or not, for every baby mama, there is still wives that are in their husband's listing. So let's not always focus on the negativity. So let's give a benefit of doubt that they will go to school and learn education. Then give them activities, extramural lessons, activities like swimming, things like taekwondo, even Bible study, prayer meeting, church activities. Engage them with all these things so that they will be, their mind will be processing other things than things that are mundane. So that way, you wouldn't need to be checking their genitals every day to see if something has happened that is unusual. Do you understand? For me, I don't think that's the best way to raise a child. And of course, do your checks when you are showering them, if they are still the age to shower. And when they start showering themselves, pay attention to their phones, because this stage everything has been digitalized. If you don't know anything IT, go and speak to your network provider. You can control your router at home, your router at home. You can control your TV. You can put everything to even Instagram now. You can monitor social media, so you can put monitor on social media, even WhatsApp. All those things you can put. If you don't know how to do it, just carry your phone and meet your network provider. Carry and go to Vodafone or EE or whatever you are using, and tell them to put parental control. They'll put it for you. For TV, you can lock everything on parental control. So when they are watching something, you can see it. But then if you are a single parent, you see that it becomes very hard, because as a single parent, you must go to work. In fact, you have to even work twice as against when you are with a partner. Do you understand? Because when you are with a partner, two of you are bringing income home, it's easier to manage the kids. But then when you are a single parent, you have to now source for a stranger to come and look after your child. Do you understand? And then they become more prone to abuse because you are not there. Because no matter what you think, when you discipline your own child, is different from when somebody else disciplines your child. Everyone is busy to engage their children in beneficial activities. Everyone is busy to engage their children in beneficial activities. Is that how it goes thing to engage your children in beneficial activities. Like me now, I want to train my children in football. If one of my child play football, my family is sorted. Or I just need only one to play football and be good at it. One day, if they pay you every Saturday, every Thursday, they pay you thousands of pounds. I will be your manager. So for me, I think parents are trying. To be honest, to be a parent is not easy. You invest and invest, and that's why sometimes it breaks my heart when you see people being killed anyhow in Nigeria. These are people's children. Somebody took care of them. And when you're expecting something to come back to you, or at least see that child grow into somebody reasonable, the government in their, ignorance and everything will allow those children to die off. And there's less being accounted for. There's underreporting, and they don't even keep a record of deaths in Nigeria, which is really, really absurd. But then that said, yes, parents owe it as a duty to look after their children, engage them in beneficial activities, both to them and to the family. There's nothing wrong with that. If a child is running for Olympics because of you, and he becomes a big star and becomes a celebrity, and he does something nice to you, it's not a bad thing. It's good. It's applaudable. It's something that is supposed to be encouraged. Some people will say, don't use your children as a retirement plan. Omo, I don't think it's a bad thing if you invest how many years into somebody's life, whether it's your child or even somebody's child, and that person wants to benefit back to you. Of course, there's something wrong with it. If you look after your parents, there's something wrong with it. Nothing. Bless them. Pray for them to increase. It works. I don't think there's anything wrong with you buying your father a car or buying your father a house. Nothing wrong with it. I don't understand what people's opinions are these days. You know what it takes to train a child? Train a child through nursery, primary, secondary, university, and then somebody come and tell you don't feel entitled. What do you mean? What do you mean don't feel entitled? I will feel entitled. I will feel entitled. I beg, it's my child. Yeah, it's my child. If you are big, if you are rich, and you're my child and I trained you, I will be busting into your house. I'm gonna eat your food. I'm gonna drive your car if you have many. If you have money, I'm gonna take some. My mom, you know how my mom collect money from me? How my mom they chop my money well. So, and she's entitled to it because she suffered to put me through school. My dad is gone, and then she still took over. See, there is a situation, of course, you become a single parent, not by choice. If you lose your partner, then you become a single parent. So that can be allowed. But what you cannot do is to say, because I'm having problem with these adults, let me leave the children to suffer. Come on. Those children go through a lot, especially in this part of the world where there is less social activities and everything. They end up going to the wrong hands, So let's do better. Let's try and stick around for our families, and I hope I hope we get the point, rather. Protect the boys. Personally, I don't like boarding schools. People might differ. Personally, I don't like boarding schools. Go to school from my house. Let me see you in the night. At least those few hours you will sleep in the house. Let me be sure that I know what is going on. Not to stay away morning and night to somebody else's care. And I keep saying, no matter what, somebody's love and a father's love or mother's love cannot be the same. I can beat my child, but don't beat my child for me. Because let me beat my child myself. So that's how I believe it. So that said, I hope we get the point. Let's do better. Protect our children, not by oversensitizing them by things that they might not even be thinking about, because then we might push them into it. But let's show them love, plenty of love, especially to our girl child. There's a way you spoil your child. Even men will be scared to near them. If you don't get money, we will near orthodox children. People with their papa buy 3 Porsche. I mean, yeah, 3 Porsches for 3 girls once. You want near them. Which kind of love you want to come if you don't get money? Mr. is a billionaire now. You want near orthodox. So, for example, instead of teaching them, don't do that. Give them money. Instead of telling your daughter, don't go to a corner with a guy. Give them plenty money. What do you want? What is your need? Come, let me buy you. You become a daddy's girl before a guy will near. See, my wife, when I married my wife, I said everything the dad is doing for her, we do it. You won't come and be suffering her when her dad have been giving her good life. No, you can only maintain that level. So that is it. So when you have a girl child, protect your girl child by giving them everything they want.
give them everything they want. And your boy child as well, for me, like I said already, don't put your children in boarding school or same-sex school. Allow them to go to mixed school. Let them see what it means to grow up with girls, and there's nothing wrong with that. They are mates. If they are doing all the love letter, we wrote love letters, we wrote romantic tests to ourselves, but it was our level of exposure and innocence, and as bad as we may be, are on the same level. We grow like that. It's normal. But what we don't want is grooming when an adult is talking to a child or whatever. No. That should be frowned upon. So I believe I've made sense. Tell me what you think. You can comment. For those who have not watched it from the beginning, you can watch it from the beginning. And always remember, depending on what part of the world you are in, the training should be a little bit different, and sort of you are more relaxed in terms of people sexually abusing your child or physically abusing your child for that matter when you're in the UK or in the West. But if you're in Nigeria and you're in a ghetto or in a place where there is no government like Nigeria, you have to be police, army, everything over your children, and make sure you train them well. A woman was lamenting that she's about to retire. Her gratuity is 300 million, but she's going home with 20 million because she loaned to train her children abroad. Yeah, it happens. People sell their properties now to just jabba. It's bad. It's bad. The country is really, really suffering. Tinubu is a genius. Tinubu is a genius. Tinubu don't enter now. Wait till they see. Even Buhari passed Tinubu. Under Buhari, at least £1 did not pass 1,000 naira. Now it's upwards of 1,100. It's now 1,115 naira to a pound. It's nonsense, man. Tinubu is a genius. Tinubu is a genius. How can you tell us you love us? You are buying new cars at our expense. We are buying petrol more expensive. You guys are buying cars. Nonsense people. They will come on social media and be supporting rubbish. I'm tired of having all this discussion with APC people. Let's be seeing it. All of us are seeing Kolo now. I'm not in Nigeria. If anything, I should be happy. If I have £1,000 now, I'm everywhere in Nigeria. I have too much money. The only thing is that it's difficult to make money in the UK. If not, all of us will be throwing money around. So please, let's be using our sense when we are analyzing all these things. We see somebody like Peter Obi and you are going for Tinubu because of tribe. Oh yeah, who tribe help? We are all of you now. You are in it. Let's enjoy the whole Nigeria and the whole this thing. Stupid policies, nonsense. The only savior who you guys have now is Peter Obi. The only savior Nigeria have is Peter Obi. If not, Nigeria will be worse than Zimbabwe. The only savior. And bear in mind, Peter Obi, if anything happens and the court did not favor him, Peter Obi will not come out again as president in 2026 or 2020, whatever. Go and mark what I said. Peter Obi will not come out as president again because he's going to be over 65 plus. He's probably going to support a younger person. So this is the only opportunity, and the person is going to probably support might not be as good as him. He's the first person that's supposed to change the course of that ship, and then somebody will help sail it even further. So if Peter Obi does not get this ticket, you're not going to get Peter Obi in 2026, so take it to the bank. I know why I'm saying this. If we miss Peter Obi, we will not get Peter Obi. All those ABC people, see what is happening. See what is happening. We had sensible people in APC will their tickets to Tinubu. Everybody in their primaries giving their ticket to Tinubu. Now, on top of that, we have sensible people come out online to go and justify Tinubu's candidacy. Somebody who's a drug lord, who doesn't have an alma mater, even FBI said they cannot disclose his history until 2026 because he's a president. He has immunity or whatever. So all this nonsense is purely because Nigerians are too myopic and tribalized. Or you divide the country if you don't want to stay as one and move forward. They say no, we must stay as one. Or you allow somebody credible to rule you. No. Are we so stupid? Somebody is shitting on your head. You are praising him because your Yoruba keep shitting on my head. They buy bulletproof cars, brand new cars. I posted it on my page. You can see it. New traditional cars for themselves, thereby increasing the price of fuel for you. And yet they are the best for you. You see a man that is ready to cut government, cut costs. This other person went and signed over 20 advisors. See, I don't want to change the topic to politics, I beg. If you notice, I've not done politics for few lives now. I've been talking about other way of life because I don't too talk. Nigerians are too mumu. You will see sensible people, educated people arguing for Tinubu. Arguing for Tinubu. Okay, he don't dead there. Now in the office now, he's championing their affairs now. Where did they carry us go? Where did they carry us go? The genius, the intelligent guy, his brain is fire. If he drop his, if he wash his brain and the water fall on the ground, that ground is blessed. His, what is his name? His brain is S-time. I beg you, all of you suffer. Me, I dey UK. My money is good. If I send them to Nigeria, I have plenty. It is your problem. I'm British. So if you guys refuse somebody who can solve your issues, if you miss P2B, I repeat again, if you miss P2B now, P2B will not come out in 2026, so he will rather support somebody. He will probably support another person. He will throw his weight behind another person. He cannot do this again now. What's all this? You think if he goes through all of this, he will come back and want to do it again? No. He has waited for this opportunity, giving his all. Somebody went and studied 30-something countries because you know the country is complex. Nigeria is extremely complex. How many of you have gone around the whole Nigeria? I've not even been to Calabar. I've not been to Akwa Ibom. I've not even been to Fulani side. All I've been in the north is Abuja. Nigeria is complex. Nigeria is extremely complex. It's not something you come and use tribe to solve. You have to be willing. You have to have foresight. You have to have vision. I've explained this in one of my lives. You know what is vision? Vision is the ability to see what others cannot see. That's why you're a leader. You lead. Because if people don't know where they are going, so you take them there because you have foresight. You have vision. What vision does Tinubu have? Stupid policies. Stupid policies. Want to give people 8,000 naira to buy waiting, fuel, garri, airtime. Nigeria now, if you dash somebody 10,000 naira, so if you go one insult you on top of the money. They see road follow bush. Yes, so before in Canada, he will not come out. Yes, I'm telling you, P2B will not come out again. It's stressful. You know what they put this guy through? Flying up and down from one country to the other. He won't do that again in 2026. Nigeria is extremely complex. Nigeria. Hey. In APC now, there's war. In APC now, there's war. Even in the north, where they're supposed to produce APC chairman. Problem. PDP, the same thing. LP, the same thing. How do you work with people that are not one initially? They are not one people. English are English. Scottish are Scottish. Welsh are Nigerians are not Nigerians. It was a name given to an amalgamation. How do you start making a common ground? That is the problem. We left what's supposed to be working and went into this nonsense that we are doing. And yet our constitution is so useless. Police is useless. Judiciary is useless. I was listening to this, what his name is, a consultant he says in the UK. They were speaking to him. I think Shehu from Channels was he invited him as a guest. The guy was saying that if you see what one of the most senior lawyers said about the Nigeria judiciary, oh boy, how did Lawan end up as speaker? How did Fabio end up as speaker? How did the whole Potolima become governor? There's so many things you will look at, and people are saying this openly. Nobody cares. Do you know why? Because Nigeria is a lawless country. And it's not only Nigeria. There are plenty of people. I'm doing Uber now. I speak to people. People will lament. Bangladesh people will lament. Afghan people will lament. Libyan people will lament. Everybody's lamenting. So it's not just Nigeria. Corruption is everywhere. It is the quantity. But when the people turn around and say, you know what? We want to change this thing, they will change it. Look at Rwanda. Look at Kenya. There are countries that are trying to get better. So it depends on you as a people. Let's choose our leader. You choose it. If we miss P2B now, P2B is not coming back in 2026, so take it to the bank. I'm telling you. Bye-bye. I don't talk my own.